So I'll give you a very practical example. Recently, just had a conversation with a gentleman who had been trained in the past using the 15-second story, which is just there was a time in my life when I was selfish and didn't like really authority at all. And I realized Jesus came down on the cross, died for my sins, and rose on the third day. And I made him Lord of my life. And now I'm becoming a much more generous person. And I want to submit to his authority because he's good. Do you have a story like that? Okay. That's the 15-second story. It's a tool that we
Right.
train to help people just get started in transitioning conversations from casual to meaningful to spiritual to discovery. And a 15-second story is a great way to take a meaningful conversation or a casual conversation and to transition it real quick to the spiritual. As I was talking with this gentleman, his answer was, I did the 15-second story and it doesn't really work. And I said, you haven't used it enough. If you had done lots and lots of reps of the 15-second story, you would realize that the point of the 15-second story is not a 15-second story to share.
Mm.
The point of the
Yes.
15-second story is to gain the skills necessary to transition everyday conversations to gospel conversations. And if you learn how to go, I want to listen to what somebody says and ask good questions and be curious, genuinely curious, then the way to tell them something about themselves, that gives you a chance to tell your side of the story. You tell something about yourself and you insert into that story very quickly the transition to where you want to go next. And you let that person then go to that next step. It's a way in which you take what we were talking about, acknowledge what we're talking about, tell something that's going to take me to the next step, and then ask them if they've gone to the next step. And that skill has to be developed through reps.
Yes.
And he was
reps.
inoculated to the tool because he tried it once, it didn't work, but he didn't understand the principle behind the rep that only comes through repetition and then gaining the skills to make it an instinct